Hello everyone, this is Hank. Hey, I'm back for another boring episode. Today we are going to talk about shoot menu number 5, which is the red tab number 5. Okay, this is quite a handful. There's like 7 of them. Luckily, the last 3, I already have separate videos to talk about them, so I will provide links to them in the description. So we're going to end up talking about the first 4. You start out with a woozy. It's a long exposure noise reduction. Now the default, I believe, is off. All right. So, okay, let's get in here first. What is long exposure noise reduction? That's a good question. Well, I can tell you what the camera will do. Okay, so the camera is going to take a picture, a really dark picture, in addition to your picture. Okay, and it will use the noise info in a dark picture, meaning that it's completely underexposed. So they take that noise and subtracted the noise off of your real picture, and you ended up with a really clean picture, right? All right, so that's what it does. And it only applies this filter if the exposure is 1 second or longer. So less than that, even though you turn on this filter, it's not doing anything, right? Okay, with that, you have 2 choices. You either have auto, okay? Let's talk about auto. What auto means is like the camera is going to decide whether or not the picture that you took needs filtering or not. If it says that, hey, this is clean enough, and then it won't apply anything. Okay. If it thinks that it's noisy enough, it will apply it. So that's up to the camera to decide. All right. Now, if you don't like that, you don't trust the camera, then you can just enable it on all the time. So when you enable it on like this, for any pictures with the shutter speed a second or more, it will apply this filter to it. Okay? And the interesting thing about this filter is, I think I mentioned this, but it's worth mentioning it again. It's applicable to your RAW files as well. So it is very useful. Now, of course, you said that, then what is wrong then? Well, the biggest disadvantage with this filter is that it will take you a lot more time. Now imagine if you do a long exposure of 20 seconds, right? So you expose for 20 seconds and you press the shutter button. So this thing is going to do 20 seconds worth of that. Then you think you're done, right? So you're ready to take another picture. Wrong, because the camera still have to take its own picture, underexposed picture, a black picture basically. And when it does that, depending on your shutter speed, it will do exactly the same thing. So it will do another 20 seconds. So that costs you 40 seconds. Then after that, it's going to do the number crunching, probably take 2 seconds on top of that. So instead of a 20-second exposure, you're going to have a 42-second exposure. Now, impatient people is going to go nuts. So that's just totally up to you. But expect that a long delay. Okay, when it's crunching, it's not doing anything. It won't let you touch the camera. The camera is basically locked up until it's done. So that's the bottom line. Okay, so that's up to you. All right, I normally just turn it off. If I need to do filtering, I'm going to do it in post. All right. Now, the high ISO speed noise reduction, NR's noise reduction. So this one, the default standard, like that. Okay, you have actually a bunch of choice. Okay, if you scroll, use up arrow and scroll up, and then you see the disable, and then you can turn it off, and then it's not doing anything. So high ISO is like when you have a high ISO is gonna reduce the noise for you, right? So bottom line is that that's what it's doing. And it's only applicable to JPEG files. So it's not applicable to your RAW files. So if you just shoot RAW, turn this thing off, which I do. Okay, you have different settings of low, standard, high, and you can play with it and see which is more acceptable to you. Most of the time, standard, I think, is just fine. Okay, and then if you scroll down here, you have an additional option here. This option only available if you choose JPEG. Okay, for this example, I select JPEG as a default, and that's why this thing show up. You should RAW. This option doesn't even show up. So what is multi-shot noise reduction? So basically, when you activate this, right? I'll show you. And I like say I have ISO 3200 here. And so when I take a picture, it'll take 4 pictures and then it'll do the noise reduction for me automatically. Even though I have it in single shot, it'll take 4 shots. And then it crunch a picture. Okay. And this picture is supposed to be a lot cleaner. And I have seen this thing before, and it actually works. Now the caveat is that it has to be JPEG. All right, so let's go back to high speed. Okay, so this one is gonna stay active until you either reset it or turn the camera off. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to turn this guy off because I shoot RAW and I don't need it. Right? Okay, so we're done with that. Now the third item is dust delete data. Okay, what exactly is dust deleted data? Okay, so let's say your sensor got a bunch of dust. So when you take a white picture, you will have a whole bunch of round circles, the dust thing. So most people send the camera in to have it clean, or you can buy the sensor swap, and you can swap it out yourself, which is what I do. So I kept mine clean, dust free. But like say if you have dust and you don't want to send it in and you don't know how to clean it, there's a method to do this. It's like you can obtain the dust data, and then the camera is going to embed this dust data in the files, both JPEG and RAW. So when you use DPP, you have to use a Canon DPP. Canon DPP program has the capability to remove the dust for you in post. Okay, I don't think Lightroom and Photoshop has that. So you have to use Canon. But okay, so this is how you are going to obtain the dust data. Okay, I'm going to show it to you how to do this quickly. Okay, first you need to have something white, like a piece of white paper. Okay, and you put like a foot in front of the camera. Okay, so I press OK here. This thing's going to do sensor cleaning first, in hope that it's going to clean out the dust for you, right? So it does that, and then now it tells you to shoot this thing. Now you have to turn the focus to infinity. Okay, so you can look at the distance scale on your lens, or just turn it to get infinity. Okay, so and then you can press the shutter button to take a picture. Okay, so this thing is going to take the picture and then it will analyze the dust data. Okay, if you don't have enough of a white surface, it'll say that it's unable to do it. In this case, it likes it. So now, I messed up my focus completely. All right, so now if I go in here, it'll tell me that, hey, I have some dust data there, date so and so and so. All right. Now, if you want to delete this, you just go and do a camera reset, delete all data, and it'll be gone. But so this data here is going to be embedded in every single picture that you take. It's really small. It's not increasing your size at all. So that's basically it, right? It's not applying a correction into your picture on camera. You have to use DPP to do it. All right, so that's dust delete data. The last item is the touch shutter. Now, unfortunately, I'm showing you this, and I can't really show you the LCD because, so I won't be able to show you. But basically, when you activate this, whenever you touch the LCD, it takes a picture. Okay, so I think it focus and then take a picture at the point that you touch it. And that could be helpful in some cases. When you do bulb mode, then the first time you touch it's going to open the shutter, and you touch it again to stop the exposure. And that's the only difference in bulb mode. But otherwise, I found it to be pretty annoying. I never turn this one on. But that is what it's for. So I think that's it. Hopefully you like this, and I haven't put you to sleep. The reason I just keep mentioning boring and sleeping is because this is not the first time I got comments from people saying that I'm sleep talking, so maybe I talk a little too slow and too soft. I'll try to be better. Thank you.